Throwing ass on the gram, getting laughs at the stand. Only she can, only Feehans. It's only Feehans.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of OnlyFeehans with me, Kerryn Elizabeth Feehan, and our guest today, you know her from Comedy Central. Please clap it up for Hanna Dickinson.
Wow.
I clap it up. We all clap it up. My dog might have the clap. I don't know. Fucking dog might have a UTI. You're a dog owner.
Yeah, I don't think my dog has ever had a UTI. I don't know. My dog's
my dog's
fucking
getting
slut.
Yeah. My dog's getting railed. She's black. She's getting trains run on her. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
I'm
you leave her
scared.
for one weekend and she's... Do dogs have blood in their pee when they have UTIs?
I hope not. Not yet. She's just doing that thing where like she goes to pee and nothing's coming out. And I called the vet and they were like, well, dogs get really close to the ground when they pee, girl dogs anyway. So there might just be like dirt and crud up there. What the fuck am I going to do?
Yeah, I can't imagine having a dog with a UTI. Even my own UTIs are unmanageable.
Right? I used to get brutal UTIs and then I started popping cranberry pills every time I fucked.
Smart. Now the Azos pain relief are over the counter.
No, yeah, the Azos I would only do once it was like, oh shit, you have one. And even that, I found those like just masked it. They didn't really like, they weren't like treating it, you know?
Yeah, that's actually how I got the kidney infection.
I can't believe you had a kidney infection.
So, yeah.
Tell that story. That's good.
I thought in college I fucked this guy named Trevor.
First mistake.
So already you know this ends in a hospitalization. And I was going home I was bringing two friends home from DC because I was in school in LA. And I was like, oh, I have all this back pain, but I tried Barry's boot camp one time. So I was like, oh, I threw out my back.
Barry did it to me.
Yeah, so I remember spending $85 at CVS on like pills and like, you know, heating pads.
Hot patch, icy hot.
Yes. And I was like, oh, I really threw my back out. And then we're going out and suddenly I'm starting to get pretty sick.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't feel well, guys. I'm going to go get a massage. You guys go to the first bar. I'll meet you there. So I went to go get a massage. And the woman's like rubbing my back and she starts doing the Cheeto chop. And she hits my kidney and sends me into a full-blown, like, I'm like seizing. And then she wraps the blanket around me and they just carry me. I'm like naked. And they've just put me in a taxi in DC and sent me to the hospital and I was like, oh, do you want me to pay? They're like, we don't even fucking want your money.
We don't want your money. We don't want to be liable for this kidney thing that we just... So what do they do for that when you got to the hospital?
Literally, they just like give you UTI medication.
Yeah.
And they were just like, yeah, you had like a severe UTI.
And it develops into a kidney infection.
Yeah.
Damn.
And they're like, you're lucky you made it when you did. I'm like, am I?
I don't feel lucky.
Yeah. And then I had to stay home for a week because I couldn't fly.
Yeah.
And I didn't get well soon from Trevor.
Trevor didn't give a fuck.
No, he started dating another Hanna, and she was in a better sorority. I was like, I get it.
He leveled up Hannah. Yeah. What a piece of shit. Yeah, I did something really stupid once. I had a yeast infection, and I put a suppository in there.
How bad did that burn?
But then I fucked with the suppository.
Oh my God.
I know. And that led to a really bad UTI.
When his dick came out, was it like one of those crown, like a molding, you know, when you put your hand in the wax?
Yep. Yeah.
Just white.
I was like, woo, I got so wet.
He's like, why is it lumpy?
He's like, this looks like feta cheese. What's wrong with you? I was like, I'm sorry. I just really wanted to fuck.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever wanted to have sex so bad where I had a UTI and those suppositories burn.
This one, I felt it working. You know, I don't know if it was like full on burning, but afterward, everything was burning.
Maybe I'm just revealing too much about myself. I'm like, you know when it burns like hell? And you're like, no.
Fucking our vaginas are just so mysterious sometimes to me. Maybe they shouldn't be, but I don't know.
Yeah. Sometimes when I was taking a lot of mushrooms because I have herpes, I'd be like, am I having an outbreak right now? Like, it was just like if I was really high on mushrooms, I would like feel a tingle and I'm like, fuck, am I having an outbreak? Or am I just like high on mushrooms? So that's, cool. Yeah, the vagina is a mystery.
Yeah. So you walked in here with a fucking sick Chanel bag. How do you feel? How does buying luxury items make you feel?
It was my source of therapy.
Yeah.
For a year because I went through like a pretty tough year.
Yeah.
And so I like was getting sober and I lost a lot of my friends because they were like really hard partiers.
Yeah.
So in sobriety, you lose a lot of friends.
Dude, tell me about it.
And on top of that, all my other friends are getting engaged or married, and I had gone through this really traumatic experience. So I came out of it and won this settlement. And so I was spending it like I was a fucking NBA player out of high school.
Good.
You know, I was just like
one of those, the brothers. What are they? There's like 4 of them. What are they? The Ball Brothers. Why did I say Mello? I'm embarrassed.
LaMelo is one of them.
Yes. I knew
and
I
who
wasn't
are
full-on
the Ball
retarded.
brothers?
There are 3 brothers from California who their dads raised them from a young age to like be NBA players, and they were like very spoiled, and they just buy Lamborghinis and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I'm like that, but like at a discount, you know? Like I'm like that at, yeah. So, but I was really, so it felt like good in the moment, but I got like a business manager who's like, because I got a large settlement and she saw how much I have and I bought a home, so it's okay, but I'm very cash poor now. And she looked at my money and she was like, so where did it go?
I love it.
And I was like, what do you mean? I was like, the house. And she's like, no, that was that. She could like see all the payments.
Here's the graph. Here's the number. Sounds like my fucking account. Like I was like, Pat had to send in his like taxes or whatever to like my accountant. And he's like, were you going to tell me you had an employee? I was like, you're so annoying, Russell. Shut up.
To be fair, we did this last year, so he should have known.
Whatever. I mean,
yeah, that's on Russell, in my opinion.
Money gives me eczema. Like talking about responsible stuff, like just gives me the itch.
Oh yeah. So now I'm on like she gave me a weekly like she's like putting me on
an allowance.
Wow. And it's I carry that Chanel bag as I walk into like Trader Joe's and get like one fucking hard boiled egg to last me the day. I had like a personal trainer. I got my lips done. I got my full body like lasered.
Oh yeah.
And I haven't had sex in 6 months, by the way. And the last guy was like,
"It's coming,
right?"
You're investing in the product.
I'm trying, and then I feel like I'm just like scaring dudes away because I'm like, "Do you want to marry me?" Maybe that's.
I say that to guys all the time. The first time I have sex with them, I'm like, "Do you want to marry me?" And I think it's funny. Like I say it as a joke,
and they don't laugh.
They don't think it's funny. They don't get us. We're funny. They don't get us. Yeah, I love fucking buying purses. My mom, I was just in Florida with my family and I had a brand new pair of Louis Vuitton sunglasses. And I was like, here, Mom, put these on. And then she's wearing them. And then it's like, I don't know, an hour later, she's like, I can't believe you're letting me keep these. And I was like, what the fuck? So you could keep them.
Did you let her keep them?
Yeah, I let her keep them. What am I going to do?
Yeah, that is kind.
She listens to the pod. I've always meant to give them to you, Mom. I love you.
But that also feels good. Like
it does.
I gave my friend a pair of like sunglasses that were nice, and I could have sold them maybe on Poshmark, but I was like, not for the money. Like
you wouldn't recoup the whole.
Yeah, and they looked really good on my friend, and it felt like I was like, yeah, this isn't a nice.
It feels good.
It does feel good.
Yep, I'm taking my mom to Saint Tropez in June.
Okay,
yeah, we're gonna have a good fucking time. It's such a long flight. I'm a little worried that we're gonna like hate each other by the time we land, but hopefully.
Are you flying coach?
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah. I'm flying first class to Ohio this weekend though.
Okay.
If I'm going to Ohio, I'm flying first class.
You know what's funny? I flew to Ohio like last year. First class upgraded.
Why not?
Because who the fuck is flying to Ohio?
Nobody. Us. First class.
No, I'm just kidding. But that is nice.
I'm not.
No. I meant about not flying. How far is Saint Tropez?
It's like we're like stopping in Portugal, and then it's a connecting. It's gonna be like a total of 15-hour travel time.
What are your mom gonna do? Like drop acid and like?
We might. No, I just booked us at like this very fancy hotel where we have like our own balcony and it like overlooks the fucking whatever sea that is. And we're just gonna chill. I mean, she's old. We're gonna eat. She's like just had foot surgery, so she's not gonna be super mobile. So we're gonna just do like whatever is in the circumference of the hotel.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
How old's your mom?
How old is my mom? 68.
That's not that old.
No, but she's had like a bunch of surgeries. She has like whatever arthritis is. That's really bad. Like she said, her hips, her knee. Sabbatical? Yeah, we're going on sabbatical. What's a sabbatical?
A sabbatical.
Pat can't keep up with us.
No. I don't know. I was Googling things I might have, and one of them was like really bad arthritis. It's like
I'm gonna get it. I think like sometimes I feel like my fingers like aching, and I'm like I'm gonna.
Are
get
there
it.
ways to prevent it?
You can just like work out like a nut, and it'll like help, but I don't think so. I think it's genetic. It's like
Turmeric.
Turmeric, yeah. I fuck with turmeric. I drink turmeric lattes. Is that enough?
I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
No.
I know. I shop like one, but I am not a doctor.
I shop like a doctor. I shop like an anesthesiologist. It's fun. I know. I bought Micah Fox a Gucci bag. Bring that up every fucking chance I can.
Yeah, right.
It does feel good. Oh, I like doing shit with my brother's kids because they're like my sister-in-law, like her family like has money, but she's a little bit of a penny pincher. And then, you know, my brother's a teacher. So we pull up to the house in Florida where we were staying, and his kids come out, and I just like hand them crisp $100 bills. And I'm like, you two are waiting on Auntie Kerryn all weekend. Baxter, get my bags. Just giving orders out all weekend. They're terrible though. They didn't do it. All they did was hit me.
So you give them each you don't do it up top. You do it when you leave so they miss you.
Oh,
that's what
smart.
my grandmother used to do.
Yeah, that's smart.
She'd be like, okay, before you go, and give me $100. And I'd be like,
oh, I like that old bat.
Yeah, it was smart. My cousins were like, Hannah, you know that was manipulative for us so that we would always want to go back to her. And I was like, oh, I see that.
I see that now. You always remember like like my Uncle Tom. It's always like the bachelor, and not my family anyway. It's always like the uncle with no kids that like would always give us the most money.
What happened to Uncle Tom?
Uncle Tom, he was just a lifelong bachelor. World War II.
Did he die?
Yeah. He was my great uncle.
Oh, great uncle.
So he died a while ago. But he was like the only one given 50s out at Christmas. And then my Uncle Bob like took that role over too, but he died of obesity and alcoholism in his trailer in Florida. R.I.P. Bob.
But he was handing out 50s.
He was. He married a lesbian. He didn't know she was a lesbian, but she left him. And then his alcoholism really revved up after that.
Can you blame him?
No.
Wow.
You go.
No, I mean, I had an uncle who was single. He's still alive, but he would always show up with his mom, my Aunt Connie. So he was like my mom's second cousin.
Okay.
But he'd always show up with Aunt Connie to all these events. So when I was like 12, I was like, oh, like, how long have you guys been married?
No, you didn't.
And they were like, the look on his face was like, I'm never fucking giving you a gift. And he was my brother's godfather. So like every Christmas he'd give my brother like $150. I got nothing. And I'm like, well, to be fair, I thought you were married to your mother. So
that's funny.
Yeah. So that's kind of my fear. I tried to do a bit about this, but it never worked, about how like my fear about being like the single aunt is like I have that single and it's Uncle Jeff, and I thought he was married to his fucking mother.
Right.
You know?
They all my niece and nephew, they'll ask me too, like, why don't you have a boyfriend? Because like when they were younger, I would like bring like boyfriends around, but it's like just been like a while. I guess Tom was the last one, like 4 years
Uncle
ago.
Tom.
Uncle Tom. From the dead, from the grave. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of fun. I like being an aunt because I mean they're cute. Like the kids are so cute, but I'm definitely just like done with them after 48 hours.
So do you think you ever want to be a mom?
I don't know. If like the right guy knocked me up, I guess. I mean, I'm running out of time. I feel like fertile. Like there's like, I don't know. I feel like I probably could get pregnant if I like put my mind to it. Mm-hmm. But it's not like a goal. I suppose it's not a goal. Like I'd be perfectly happy if I didn't.
Yeah.
The determining factor for me would just be like if I fell madly in love with a guy and he's like, I'm getting you pregnant. It would have to be against my will. What about you?
I don't know. It's like in sobriety, I'm like, I could do it.
Right.
Like when I was drinking, I was like, oh, I can never be a mother.
Yeah.
It's because I could never be sober for 9 months. But now that I'm sober, I'm like, what else am I doing with this?
Right.
thing?
You like, yeah. Because how long has it been since you drank, or are you?
It'll be 2 years in May.
Are you full sober? Like,
yeah. I mean, I sometimes take mushrooms.
Yeah.
But I was really heavily addicted to Adderall. I think coming out of rehab because like, I was like the only thing I could control was like my weight, and so I got very, very thin and was taking like a ton of Adderall to the point where I was like, yeah, I'm sober, telling people, but like it always had the guilt of like, I always had this guilt like I'm lying. Whereas like when I say I'm sober and I sometimes take mushrooms, I don't have that guilt because I'm like, I'm off like all my prescriptions and everything, and it helps like microdosing helps like my mood and like,
yeah,
it just helps my focus on it like weirdly.
Totally. Microdosing is great. There's tons of studies that say that it's good.
Yeah, so I don't feel bad about it, but if you were to be like, oh, well, then you're not sober, then fine, I'm not. But like,
yeah, I'm like, I still smoke pot. Like, I'm not addicted to marijuana. Like, I haven't smoked pot in, I don't know, a week or whatever. Like, I'm not like, oh my God, I have to smoke weed. But like, I don't feel like smoking weed is like fucking with my sobriety. It doesn't take me out of things. If anything, it's just a little mood elevator to like get through the day. But it'll be May 10th, and I haven't had a drink in 5 years.
Oh, congrats.
And I relapsed. I would 2.5 years would be my like point, and then like for like 2 separate times, and it would usually be like I would go through a breakup, and then I'd fucking relapse like a fucking pussy.
Yeah, I was like 6 months.
Yeah.
And then now I like truly can't imagine. It would be like before I'd be like, oh, I'm going to make it like, I'm like, oh, it'll be 2 years. I just know because I got sober on my birthday. So it's like, I know.
Yeah.
But people who are, before I'd be like, oh, I'm almost at 6 months. Like I would think about it a lot. And now I'm just like, I'm never.
You don't
like,
even think about it. Right.
Yeah.
You don't think about like getting to X amount of years. Like, I don't, like you asked me, I can tell you when it is. It's May 10th, but it's like, I don't, same. I don't like think in those terms.
Yeah. And that's why I think because I started going to AA when I was like 22.
Same.
And,
like
just,
so
like,
in my 20, I think it was 26. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I couldn't do it. And now it is truly like whenever you're ready because now I'm like, introducing alcohol into my life is like, I can't even imagine.
Yeah. It's just so far from my daily like vibe. Like I just am so just what can I do to improve myself and stay young? Like every day I'm like that's where a lot of my resources go. I'm like getting fucking NAD plus IV drips. Have you ever done it?
No.
Ooh, Hanna, you gotta try it.
NAD plus.
You got disposable income. You gotta try it. You gotta get on that.
How much is an NAD plus IV though?
I think like $300 or $400.
Okay, that is my weekly stipend is $600. So I would have to like
you don't eat 1 week.
Gwyneth Paltrow in me right now.
To eat an almond, and no, it's so I don't know everything about it. Pull it up on the screen, Pat. But it's like
You're like I don't know what it is, but I put it in my body,
shooting it in my blood.
Have you done NAD plus? No, what is it? I have no idea.
I don't know. I know Joe Rogan's really into it, and it's like it helps with your metabolism, but it's also like it like makes your cells like youthful. Like it turns back the hands of time. And if you can you read it out loud because I left my glasses in Florida. I'm like, I'm so youthful. I can't read.
Shouldn't you be able to see it? Yeah. Doesn't sound like it's working. Okay.
I'm so youthful. I can no longer see far distances.
You know what? My 2020 vision here.
You got it? Do you have contacts in?
No.
Wow.
I'm just 2020, baby. A
Should be
type
a
of
pilot.
intravenous. I can't read though.
She's dyslexic.
Yeah. Treatment that can stimulate cell regeneration in your body. That does sound good.
Yeah. And it's like when you get it, it feels kind of speedy, like borderline, like a bad Coke feeling. You're like, it's the same way.
I'm like, I can't wait to do it tonight.
But once it's out of you, it's out of you, and it's not pleasant. It doesn't make you like want to go back to that state. It's unpleasant.
The whole time
while it's going in for like an hour. It
what
can like
the fuck are you talking about?
it like can like raise your heart rate a little, make you like feel like a little bit like jittery just like while it's happening. But the second it's out, it's gone. And then it feels like the next time you work out, like say you work out the next day, it feels like you took a Mario star and you're like not like top of the world.
And what are the side effects?
Nothing bad. They just the crazier it feels when it's going in, it means your levels are actually good. Like you're already like full up. So if it ever feels like kind of okay, it means you're kind of depleted and you like needed some.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I did ketamine therapy.
Cool.
Which was an IV drip, and it was like 5 sessions because it builds back like the synapses in your brain that sends dopamine. So it's like a lot of times you take like anti-anxiety or SSRIs to like send more dopamine or whatever, but this builds back like the actual structure so that like more can leave. And
that's
that
awesome.
Make sense? Yeah.
What do you like during the ketamine IV drip? You just sit there, or
I just sit because it's a medical facility. It's like in the whatever. What's it? I'm like FIDA. Like, it's in FIDA.
Okay.
But it felt very clinical when I was there, and I listened to Dua Lipa, and you can bring your dog. And
nice.
I one time had this crazy fucking trip, and I like called my friend, and I'm like, "Am I a bad friend?" She's like, "You are right now."
You are right now. I'm sleeping.
Yeah, she's like, "It's 9 a.m. Why are you taking ketamine?" I'm like,
I don't know, man. Tell me I'm your best friend.
You tell me you love me.
But that and glutathione. Look up glutathione. You'll love glutathione. It's like a facial from your veins. It's like
the vampire facial?
No, it's an IV drip, but it's this thing called glutathione. It's this like whatever chemical complex, and I'm telling you, like not right after, but like for the next 2 days, it just like plumps you up, makes you like super moisturized. If you had like some sun damage, it like can sort of like fade shit away. It's my fucking brightens and lightens the skin by removing.
And how much is that one?
This is less expensive. You can do one of these for like $100.
And where do you go? Do they come to you?
I am a member at this place called Clean Market. That's right over here. There's one in Midtown too. But they have infrared saunas, cryotherapy, and these IV drips.
And how much is that a month?
I paid for the year, and it was like, I think it was only like $1,000.
But then you have to pay on top.
Yeah, but I get a discount on every IV. Like a 35% discount on every time I go. So say you started 1,000 and say maybe you're spending $500 a month if you're going, maybe less. But I do the freaking saunas all the time too. That's where I make a lot of my porn. They know that. I wonder if they're gonna catch on to me and start fucking making me pay them commission or something.
Wait, so you do a porn in the sauna?
Yeah, I just get naked. So Pat's laughing like he doesn't know.
Wait, so for OnlyFans?
Yeah. No, just for me. My mom.
I don't know your family dynamic that well. Wait, so
my mom in
do
Florida.
You do front and back for OnlyFans?
Front and back?
Like full front and back?
Yeah. Funniest question. That's the funniest question I've ever heard. I look the same from my torso up.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah, Hannah. People love butthole.
I know. I just send it out for free personally. I know. So I like once bleached my asshole in an app for a guy.
Oh wow.
Like fully just did a lot of Photoshop, and then I found out he was like driving to go see a girl who was 23,
Ugh.
and I was like 28 at the time, and I was like, my butthole wasn't enough for you.
What do you
My
need?
gaping butthole was not enough for you.
What more do you? I was the same. Like I would always make like little like videos for like boyfriends or like guys that I was seeing, and I was like, oh, why don't I just do this for thousands of strangers and make fucking money doing it? Never fall in love again. I don't know. Hope maybe this guy will like me though.
I think that's not the attitude to have, Kerryn.
Oh, what's the attitude?
You need to be like, this guy's gonna fucking like me. I don't know if I'm gonna like him.
Right. Yes. I know. How do you do that?
I don't know. I'm giving you advice. I told you before this podcast, I told a guy twice, I'm like, I think we like each other. And both times he was like, we do not. And I'm like, all right, well, okay, glad.
I mean, Ian Lyra's been rejecting me for, close to 2 years.
How does he reject you?
I'm like, shouldn't we date? Like, we love each other. And he's like, nah. And then he brings other girls to the stand to hurt me. It's okay. It's our little game.
But do you really have a crush on him?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of fading because I have like this new thing. You know how like you have a crush and then a new one comes in and the other one kind of fades away?
Totally. That's my problem is actually I haven't been dating at all because I do seem to like idealize guys and fantasize about
Me too.
guys. And
my
then,
mind runs away.
I know. My therapist will be like, "Where are you? Where are you right now?" I'll be like, "And then we're in Greece getting married."
Like, we're in Belize. Where are you?
I was like, back in the room, back in the room.
Grounded.
Lights,
Grounded.
floor, yeah, couch. You know, like your grounding methods. It's so embarrassing.
I do it too. I think it's so rare that I connect with guys like in that type of way that I do find it easy to just kind of run away with it, you know?
Yeah, I'm like, what are you doing that you don't want to marry me?
Right. And have you been love bombed before?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm finding myself fucking love bombing people, and I don't really even fully mean it. I think it's like a learned behavior.
You're doing it?
Yeah.
So you'll be like, oh, I really like you. And then,
yeah, but I like don't even mean it. I'm like, we're meant to be together. We're soulmates.
And then how do you end it?
They do. me, I love you. Bye. No, they're like, freak, get out of here. The thing is, like, are you running into guy, like, I don't know. I'm kind of like flashy about my money and like, cause I'm new money.
Yeah.
And they don't like, it sucks. It's like, if we were men, like girls would be turned on by it. And guys are the opposite.
Why? Because we're funny and rich?
Yes. That exactly.
I'm not even rich though. I want to put that out there to all the eligible bachelors. I'm very poor.
Can you get B-roll of the Chanel? Fucking bitch. She's a homeowner. She's 12 years old. She's a homeowner. Yeah, but why? But it's so annoying. Where are those guys? But here's the thing. Would you be attracted to a guy that was like, yeah, be my sugar mama?
Absolutely not.
Right.
That's the thing is like, I do think I was bummed by this guy and he like took me to Nobu, Miami. Yeah, within like our first month. And he was like, I love you. Like we were down in Miami. He's like, this is going to be our wedding song. And I was like, I remember thinking like, that's...
What song was it? Was it Pitbull?
It was probably Bad Bunny. No, it was oh, there's Andrew Casatato.
My God, Andrew. Oh, and Aaron.
Why did we not get cast in
and
this?
Ian.
What the fuck?
This is fucking cringe humor. These are all the people they rep.
This is Ian when Karen's texting him.
Crying. He's like, fuck.
I know. Like, well, look at Dude, everybody we know was just in that commercial.
And here we are.
And look at us on my couch. Sorry. So you're in Miami.
Oh, yeah. And he was like, I forget the song. I honestly forget what song it was.
So you were going to get married to?
Yeah, that was going to be our song. And then he just like slowly started to be mean to me because he wanted to like, he realized that like he realized he had gone too deep too fast.
Okay.
And
instead of just communicating that,
he was just like yelling at me all the time. Like he had a leather couch and I like put my backpack on it and scratched it. He goes, you fucking scratched my leather couch. No, and he had Lululemon workout shorts. It's embarrassing. But he got up and the shorts like scratched because it had like a little zipper thing on it. And I was like... And he would just like yell at me all the time, be like, why are you wearing hats? Like, you shouldn't wear hats. And I'm like, I'm a hat girl. I don't know what you want me to do. Accessories are kind of my thing.
Yeah.
And then so it just ended really badly because we were supposed to go on another trip together and he like pulled out the night before.
Oh.
And yeah.
I was thinking about this time where a guy did that to me. I dated a guy for like my whole 20s. And it was like the first time I quit drinking was the end of our relationship. Because I would try to stop drinking. And he was, 8 years older than me. Mm. And whatever, he's like a fucking failed actor cokehead. But one time, like I would always go with him to his family, like stuff. Like he was from Philly and I would go there for Thanksgiving. I would go there for their like beach trips. It was always like, and I would just beg him all the time. Like, can we please go to see my family? Like, can we please? Like, I want to go. My parents live on Cape Cod. It's beautiful, like every summer. And I remember being at the Amtrak station, like waiting to get on the train for him, like texting him, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? And we had this thing planned for weeks. And he just like showed up perfectly 5 minutes after the train left. And the next one was sold out. And like, there was just like, I just went back there. I don't know why, like recently I did it. And it just like filled me with so much fucking anger that like this fucking guy couldn't be on time for a train. He was probably 30 when we were dating. You know what I mean? Like, just like, and that was like one example of like all the shit he would do. When I would quit drinking, he started drinking more and would like stay out, probably cheating on me with like, I'd be calling him and texting him at like, we lived together at like 4 or 5 in the morning. And he just like wouldn't come home. He'd finally crawl into bed, like reeking of booze and coke and try to fuck. Like, and sometimes I would just, like, he would basically fucking rape me. Just sucked.
Yeah. I mean, recently I met this guy at a wedding and he was like, he came on to me so strong and he's like very attractive and like works in finance and like he was like, oh, where do you live in New York? And I told him where I just bought my place and he was like, I live across the street. He literally lives across the street. And then I didn't hook up with him because I was like, I'm going to marry this guy. You know, like it's fucking, he bails. He's supposed to be on my flight back. He doesn't show up. And then he's like, oh, sends me a dinner reservation for the night before.
That's
then,
cute.
2 hours before, he's like, I actually am kind of seeing someone.
Are
still.
you fucking kidding me?
And then I was like, don't talk to me until it's over because it was like back and forth. And
Yeah.
then he like accidentally texted me in the fall. And then I had another mutual friend. I was going down to Miami and he goes, oh, like you should meet up with my friend. This guy let's call him Dutchie. Okay. So this guy Dutchie and Dutchie has a boat. So I was like, okay, like is Chris going to be there? Oh, fuck.
He'll bleep it.
Anyway, and he was like, oh yeah. So he was like planning on like running into me.
Okay.
On this. And I was like, I call him, I was like, how about you call me?
Right.
Like
Just be normal.
and he was like, yeah, like I like really want to see you, blah, blah, blah. And then I didn't get any of the itinerary. He calls me right before Miami and was like, I really want you to come. Please come. Here are the plans. Sends me the itinerary. I go, okay, can we at least like meet before? Because I don't really want to go see all your friends if like this is going to be weird. He goes, yeah, let's do brunch. And I go, okay, well, I have to like, he lives across the street from me in New York, never sees me, and I think he's going to do brunch with me in Miami. Okay. So I change my fucking flight, get a layover in Atlanta. I get there. He's like, I might have to push a little later. Text me at 8:00 at night. How's your trip going? And I lose my fucking shit on him. And that's when I realized I needed to stop taking Adderall. I literally was like, I'm mentally ill.
That's
like,
going to make you like, that's going to rev everything up even more.
yeah, and I sent him like a long thing of text messages. I was like, you're a fucking like loser.
Right.
Pretty much. And I was like, basically like, I was like, oh, you work all day? Well, guess what, bitch? I got a boat. I like rented a boat myself. I got a bigger one. I got local Miami people to come on. It was really fun, but like reckless because I was so pissed. And then I was like, oh, I'm mentally unwell that I thought this man who had a girlfriend when he met me was like playing me the whole time. And
Should have just fucking messaged her. I did that to my ex.
You did?
Yes, that guy that I was just describing that I broke up with. I started dating someone else, but I was still like had feelings for him, and he immediately started dating another chick who's so much fucking hotter than me, like blew me out of the water. Crazy smoke show. She was on the show Pretty Little Liars. She was so hot.
Wait, which one?
She was like a side player or whatever. Her name was Dre, but she was a blonde, like had short blonde hair. She was just crazy hot. But he still kept trying to fuck. Like he would get wasted and he would text me all this stuff. And I'd be like, you have a girlfriend now. Da-da-da-da-da-da. So I screen grabbed one day, just popped off, probably relapsed. And I sent her everything. And they like broke up, I think maybe like a month later. And I always assumed it was because she was like, fuck this guy. He's a fucking liar. But I come to find out, like, because he and I spoke, he's like, oh no, she didn't believe you. We broke up for other reasons. I was like, didn't believe me. It was all I had all the receipts.
It's so crazy when you want to believe what a guy is like.
You will.
You will.
Yep.
And that is something I've seen in my friends that I'm just like, okay, yeah, he is not cheating on you. You know, like I'm like, okay, if that's what you want to believe, because I've been there. I've been that person who's like, no, he likes me. And they're like, Hannah, he has not texted you back in 5 years. I'm like, you don't understand.
You don't get that's how we are.
He likes that I text him from a random number.
It's so hard because another guy, not that guy, but I mean, all of my friends hated one of my boyfriends that I had for like a year and a half. And they hated him from the beginning to the end.
Why did they hate him?
They were right. He was a scumbag. He was probably cheating from the beginning. He was probably faithful to me for like, we dated for a year and a half. He was probably faithful for maybe the first couple months when I was like, you know, new and fresh to him. And so they would just like, he's a scumbag. And I was like, you don't get it. Like, we're in love. Don't talk about, and my relationship with my friends like suffered. Like, I would always pick him over them. He used to make me leave my dog and like come stay with him. He would never let me bring my dog. Oh, that also makes me like so fucking mad.
Yeah.
Mad.
And
then when they're good, they're like boring. It sucks.
Yeah, that's why I just haven't been dating. I mean, I put myself on after Miami, I was like, I need to stop fucking dating because I clearly don't even understand social norms. Like, you know what I mean? It's like I lost $100. Maybe I lost 10,000 points. It was either $100 or 10,000 points. And I had a layover and I got up early for a guy who fucking bailed on me already twice in the city that we both live in. And
Yeah.
I think he's going to woo me to brunch.
I know. You just want to believe. You want to give them every chance. You want to believe in them.
I think it got to the point too, which is what drove my crazy, was I was like, he can't be this shitty. Like, he can't be this bad.
Right.
And it was
because it's like, why bother doing anything? Like, why bother like the breadcrumbing? Like, what do you get off on, dude? Like,
I literally sent him a voice note and I was like, you don't pick up your phone. So like, this feels like a happy medium. I will not be seeing you in Miami and I'm going to LA for a while. So I don't even know if I'll ever see you, but like, had a great time meeting you. He calls me immediately and goes, no, please come to this shit. I'm sending you the itinerary now. And then fucking blew me off. And I was like, this guy.
That's psychotic though.
He's psychotic. I mean, I saw him the other day for the first time since the wedding last year.
Yeah.
And he's like, we both live on a street, but he
on a street.
I just don't want to say like where I live.
That was so funny.
So he's like walking and I'm like, is that Chris? He starts scaling
Shut up.
Like he's like scaling
to avoid you?
Yes.
Shut the fuck up.
And then he turns down the next street and looks over his shoulder.
Shut up.
I'm like, yeah, bitch, better to be feared than loved. Fucking come at me right now because I will murder you.
Even my ex, who like I have like finally gotten over, but my last boyfriend, like I was very, very in love with him. And like we were perfect for like a very long time, like over a year, like no problems. Like we never fought. There were like underlying fundamental problems that all of a sudden like fucking blew up at the end. He's a trust fund kid. And
I don't see the problem.
I know. You think that, but then it's hard to date somebody who doesn't have to have ambition, who like doesn't have to have a passion in life. So, and at first it was fucking awesome because I was working at Paramount doing shows every night and I had a dog and he would take care of my dog during the day. I would come home in between work and shows and he would have dinner made for me. And he was so fucking, he still is. He's maybe the hottest guy I've ever fucking dated in my life. He was perfect. But then all of a sudden it became, why don't I hang out with his friends? And like his friends would go out drinking, like, because that's what normal people who aren't addicts do, you know? And for me, like, that was just never appealing. Like, I would always be like, well, I have to work, you know? Like, and to him, me doing stand-up wasn't a real job. Like, he would eventually, when we started these fights, he'd be like, you do whatever you want every night. Like, no, I don't. I have 3 spots. Like, I'm working. It's a job. And it just sort of like bubbled and bubbled and bubbled. And then I tried at the end. I was like, all right, I'm hanging out with your friends. I'm going to escape rooms with your family, including your grandmother. Like it was, I definitely, like one time, his mom rented a house in the Hamptons for his, I think it was his 30th birthday. And it was like a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday ordeal for his birthday. And I picked up a show. I had taken off the weekend, but last minute, I think like Patrick from the stand was like, hey, do you want a fucking spot on Thursday? And I took it. So I went a day later. I came down with his friend and I got there and in front of his family, he gave me the silent treatment for like 6 hours. I know.
So unattractive.
And then and he had gone down there with my dog the day before and they let my dog, him and his other friends who are also dog owners, and his sister, also a dog owner, let my dog run up and down the tennis courts until the bottom pads of his feet were falling off because they had been so much friction and heat. He couldn't walk when I got there. My dog couldn't walk. So I'm like bawling my eyes out, like carrying my dog everywhere. Like, why would you guys torture my fucking dog while I wasn't here? I was so upset. Anyway, like days, like it goes on, like we like things, you know, get better, but like still, like it was just this thing where like, birthdays were never that big of a deal to me. Like, I don't get why like a 30-year-old man needs his mommy to like rent him a house. And he was like, Kerryn, I could have done something and invited all my friends, but they drink. So I was thinking about you, so I didn't invite them. I'm like, I don't fucking care. I never asked you to do that. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, also, who needs a full, like, Thursday's a work day.
Thank you.
It's like you come Friday through Monday through Sunday.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like.
That was huge. I lost so much money not doing spots.
Yeah, but that Hamptons house does.
It was gorgeous.
Sick. I mean, there's a tennis court.
It was gorgeous. Tennis court. I was here. The pool. It was gorgeous.
So
but to me, that doesn't turn me on if your mom's paying for it. It has the opposite effect on me. Even when we first started dating, he'd be like,
"How'd you meet him?"
He'll never admit this, but he's a fucking fan. He saw me on the Chip Chipperson podcast. Shout out Jim Norton. And he messaged me. And he was like, he said, you're funny and I'm cute. I was like, wait, am I cute? Wait, am I ugly?
That sounds like really mean to say to a woman. You're hilarious. And I'm attractive.
And I'm out of your league. So I was like, oh, he's right. I'm in. He was like 6 years younger than me. Was he 6 years? Maybe 4 years? I don't know.
Oh, wow.
So hot. So good. So good for the longest time. For the longest time, like...
And he didn't have a job?
He eventually got one because he had a bully as a girlfriend. Like, I would just, like, shit on him for not having a job. And he's like, well, I'm not going to be able to take care of Ernest. I'm like, I can get somebody to walk Ernest. Get a job.
Wow. What did he...
Now he started, like, his own, like, personal training service company.
So, would you ever go back to him?
His mom found out about my OnlyFeehans and has a big problem with it. Cunt. Whatever, she paid. So no, I don't think he doesn't have, that's the other thing. Like when you're financially dependent on your parents into adulthood, it's hard for you to have a spine. Like,
yeah, because everything is like with, like, there's always something attached to it. So it's like, well, my mommy's buying dinner, so you better show up wearing a nice dress.
100%.
And it's like...
What? Fuck your mother. Get a job.
Yeah, the fact that you had to tell him to get a job and his mother was like, just cook for your girlfriend.
Yeah, just find yourself, just take your time. Mommy will take care of it because, like, I have millions and millions of dollars. You don't have to work. Meanwhile, his sister, like, fucking works in D.C., is, like, one of the top earning, I don't know, government officials, like, there. She's super successful.
Ivanka Trump?
It's Ivanka. It's the Trumps. Wait, what's someone with autism? That's my Trump.
You're dating Baron Trump?
Yeah. Yep, he's an oil baron.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I hate that I have to talk so much shit about him, but
you have to.
I have to.
I brought it up. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to your ex's mother, but I had to bring her into this.
When was the last time you had like a boyfriend?
College.
Yeah.
10 years.
Wow. But you dated a lot of guys. But you are a whore. Tell the camera tell everyone where they can find you.
There are copies of my keys everywhere in the city.
What? Is that your college boyfriend?
No, that's Baron Trump.
That's what I mean.
No, I mean, I had like guys I dated, I guess, but they would never like be my boyfriend. And I think part of it was like I was a raging alcoholic.
It's hard.
It's hard.
Like they have to be one too, kind of.
Yeah, and
even if they are, that can be challenging as well.
Yeah, it's never. And then once I got sober, I started like respecting myself and like being like, well, this is what I'm looking for and this is what I want. And guys are like, that's like a lot. And I'm like, because I was like kind of seeing people, and then it was like, let's go with the flow, see what happens. And it's like every time you do that, they just like fuck you over. Like one guy was like, Hannah, what about the gray area? Like he lives in LA and he's like older, and like it was like his success was very hot to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he had just gotten out of like a very serious relationship with like a star. So
Yeah.
I was like, I'm her sloppy second.
Isn't that interesting that like the guy's girlfriend can play, like ex-girlfriend can play like a huge part in like how attractive I find him.
Yeah.
Like there was like, even like the guy I dated like when I was in my 20s, when I first saw him, I felt nothing. And then he was dating this girl. I guess I'm sort of was a homewrecker in this situation. I fell in love with her. Like we started becoming really close. I'm fucking single white female. And then I was
killed her ass?
I like fucking murdered her. I slit her fucking throat. But I was like, she's so beautiful. She's so fun. Like, and I was like, why is he with her? And then I was like, slowly started to be like, oh, I guess I like him. It's sick. That's fucked up. I should talk to someone about that.
Yeah, definitely. But I think in your 20s, I mean, this guy was like, he did have a cool, like, he was also like very wealthy and success. It was just cool.
Success is appealing.
It is, and he's written songs that I like grew up
John
to.
Mayer.
Yeah. No, it's not John Mayer. I
Mayer.
wish it was John Mayer. It's like a bootleg John Mayer, honestly. But we had only gone out a couple times through friends, but like he like basically was like, let's hang out this day, and then he like bailed on me. And I was like, you know what, dude, this is fucking embarrassing on my part. Like, and he called me, he texted me back, good morning, sunshine, and then called me to his credit. But he was like, can't we just live in the gray area for a while? Can't you pump the brakes? I'm like, pump the brakes? You're 43, dude.
Good for you. Yeah.
I go, why? So we can maybe get married one day and I can take our kids to college myself because you're fucking dead.
Fucking dead.
And he was like, you're kind of mean. And I was like, am I mean or am I fucking honest?
Yeah.
Because as soon as you say to a guy, I don't know, Pat, what do you think? If you're like, this is like, if you call a guy out on their bullshit, they're going to be like, if a guy's like, can't we just live in the gray area? Why does it have to be so black and white?
It's like, who else is living in the gray area with us? All the other sluts.
Yeah.
I don't want them in my gray.
No, I appreciate a girl calling it out. It's fine.
But do you, like, when you, in the early stages of dating a girl, how long does it take?
No establishing anything too soon. Like,
What's
it takes
too
like
soon?
a few weeks of dating.
See, that's soon for me. I'm like, a few weeks.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I mean, you can understand in a few weeks if you want to keep spending time with someone.
I think if you are really into them, like a few weeks, a month. I think a month.
My last girlfriend, it was 2 years, so.
That's how long you dated her.
Yeah. And then like.
But when you were first dating, how long did it take for you to be like?
That was 2 years.
It took you 2 years to ask her. Yeah, you're a piece of shit. Kill yourself. I hate everyone.
Okay.
Wait.
And like it was
See, that's the issue. She was okay with it, and I'm not okay with it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to date someone for 2 fucking years and
Right.
have them be like, I'm seeing other people, though.
Honestly,
It's like,
no.
if she
Well,
wasn't
one
okay with
UTI
it,
is too many.
If she called me out in the beginning, if she wasn't okay with it, I would have probably gave her the shot though. Still,
giving her a shot.
the shot,
The shot?
yeah.
What does that mean?
To be my girlfriend.
Look at Pat.
Oh, so maybe she was playing you.
Maybe, yeah.
Oh.
We were exclusive. It was nice. We had a good time,
So you were exclusive for 2 years?
and then we did it for 3 years.
How is
now we're
that
not
any different?
I don't get it.
It wasn't.
I
And
think that's just you.
And I regret it.
Yeah,
I
you
would've
just
dated her for
you
5 years.
You just drug your feet with the title.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I was an asshole,
Good.
and I learned from my mistakes.
All right.
How
I would
old are
never
you?
do it again. I'm only 26.
He's only 26.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he looks like a divorced dad, right?
All right. Yes.
He's Lebanese. That's how they make him in
26, but
Lebanon.
46, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. I think that too, I'm like pretty clear with what I'm looking for. So a guy's like very hesitant to like even go out with me because I'm like not really like now that I'm sober, I'm like not like oh my God. When I was sober, this is actually before I got sober, like where I am now. But I went out with a guy. I didn't tell him I don't drink because I was like, well, I'll go to a bar and like get a seltzer.
Right.
And, like I'm not gonna be like, hey, by the way, I don't drink because
I
then
know.
it feels like it brings this weird element into it.
It's hard.
So I order a seltzer and he goes, you don't drink? And I was like, no. And then he goes, yeah, I'll have the clam chowder.
What? what? She's like, I'd rather have diarrhea than.
He was just like, I'm not getting laid tonight. So yeah, I'm going to order the clam chowder at this dive bar.
He's like, I'm going to get this girl out early in the morning, whether she likes it or not. I'm going to blow up my bathroom.
Yeah. So I just don't really sleep with guys.
The drinking thing is tricky because guys all the time would be like, hey, let's go out for a drink. Like cute guys, you know, too. And they're like, let's go out for a drink. And I'm like, can you watch like one of my clips? Do you know what I mean? Like I have a fucking tattoo that says don't serve me on my arm. Like I'm very like open about the fact that like I don't drink. So especially if you're a guy that like fucking follows me and you're like, let's go out for drinks. I'm like, you should specify non-alcoholic or whatever, or iced tea, or just acknowledge it. Because I feel like it's a big part of me. Like I talk about it a lot.
Yeah, I do too. That's why I also talk about herpes a lot, because I'm like, it's better for guys to fucking know up
Right.
top.
Who cares? Everybody has fucking herpes. If you don't have herpes, you're a fucking loser.
Yeah. And it's like, I've never given it to anyone because I fucking take care of myself. So it's like,
Meanwhile, guys are out here giving it to everybody in their fucking open sores. Nasty fuckers. You know who you are.
yeah. Seriously. But I feel the same way when I have to tell a guy, he's like, what, you have herpes? I'm like, you didn't watch my stand-up?
That's what I mean. Watch my fucking clips.
Yeah. One guy was like, oh, follow me on Instagram. And he was like going through my photos and he was like, you're so hot. Like, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, well, you know I have herpes, right? And he was like, what? I was like, so you just passed over the 2 clips?
Yeah. They skipped them.
He literally was skipping my stand-up. I'm like, oh, you're going through my Instagram, so I guess you found out I have herpes.
I guess you don't want to hear what my voice sounded like, though, you cocksucker.
Yeah, literally. And he's like, what? And I'm like, men are,
they're dense.
well, in rehab, I had my brain scan. And the guy was like, do you know men have less connections in their brain between logic and emotions? So that's why that's why they do better in business and like have an easier time being sociopaths. Mm-hmm. The doctor was like, so like when a guy's like, I don't know what you're saying, he really doesn't.
He literally doesn't.
But it's weird that doctor, my friend was like, it felt like he was like gaslighting you before. I was like, yeah, I wasn't going to fuck this guy with a ponytail, but like, like, why is he telling me this? But he told me that, and I always think about that now. When a guy's like, yeah, I just don't know. I'm like, oh, because your brain's like low-key slower in that department.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I hate men. But I need a boyfriend. So if you hate men too, and you're a man.
Do you actually want a boyfriend?
I would like one, but my other issue is I need like a Tuesday boyfriend. I need a Tuesday night boyfriend. That's like the only time I ever feel like it's because I almost never have spots on Tuesdays. And it's like the one night that I'm home alone. And don't get me wrong, I, do enough skincare and self-care to keep myself very busy on a night alone. But I also wonder if it's unfair for me to want a boyfriend and be like, listen, I'm never home. Like, I'm not going to be home at night ever. I'm always going to be working. I'm going to be on the road like 2 weekends a month. And, if you're up for every Tuesday to be my boyfriend, then, you can maybe fill that slot. And the other part of me is like, it would be nice for a guy to move in here and share the rent.
Totally.
Isn't that like a man brain thing? Isn't that logic, guys?
Yeah. My friend and I talk about that all the time. Like when you walk into a guy's apartment and he has like a couch and like an IKEA coffee table and just like a TV on like plastic bins.
Yeah.
He's ready for a girlfriend.
He needs one.
He needs one. You're like, oh, this apartment needs a girlfriend. You invited me over here? Oh, you're asking me to move in and redecorate.
You need one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but when a guy has like, I hooked up with a guy who had all West Elm shit.
Whoa.
Total bachelor.
Ooh. Forever. Yeah. Because he can just keep them coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean.
Not maybe arousal wise.
No, definitely not.
I watched a clip from like some like old black guy. I don't know where he came from. I keep getting fed the worst shit in my algorithm. But he's like, women don't really climax. First of all, it took him 4 tries to say climax. Women don't really climax. I think it's a myth. He's like, and if they do, that's like a male thing. That's like a dude thing to do. And then another guy that was on the podcast with him was like, yeah, I think they're lying. I don't think they really do it. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Imagine being a guy who's so bad at sex, he believes women, it is impossible for a woman to climax. Yeah. It's like, yeah, it's physically impossible.
Yeah,
it's like nothing to do with your dick or like tongue or anything.
Right. He's like, I jackhammered this bitch for 45 minutes and nothing. She's dead. She's a hole in the ground. All right, we got to wrap this up.
Okay.
Do your plugs. Tell the people where to follow you, where to find you, whatever you want.
When is this coming out?
Friday.
Okay, well, Philly, I'm doing the City Winery April 13th. Please come to that. And Hans Dickey, HANSDICKIE on Instagram.
Hell yeah. Thank you, Hannah Dickinson.
Thanks for having me, Kerryn.
Good episode. Pat, you did
If you're
nothing.
in New York City, May 5th,
Oh my God, fine. Come to our live show.
we have our first live podcast at a venue. So,
Yeah.
Ooh, where
guys,
is
please
it?
come out.
City Winery
in New York.
In New York
At the
City.
Loft.
I don't know what we're going to do. I think we're going to maybe do like a dating game with me.
Comment your ideas, guys. Our 95% male audience, what you guys want to see at the live pod.
What you guys want to see at the live show. I think we do like I think we do a dating game and like some other shit. We're going to have a panel. It's going to be fucking porn stars and comedians. I haven't booked them yet, but they're coming. So yeah, just buy tickets now so I don't have to keep doing this. Thank you. Thank you.
Like and subscribe.
It's only Feehans.